What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about some hidden hiking gems I found in Los Angeles. For the last 7 months or so, I've been training to climb Pikes Peak, and through that, I've discovered some new hiking spots that I was not aware of. The first video I made on hiking in SoCal. So let's get right into it. Okay, before we start, I do want to explain my methodology for what I classify as a good hike, right? Because that can mean a lot of different things in a lot of different circles. I have friends who classify a great hike as like 24 miles. Other people classify it as 2. For me, I mean, I've done all sorts of hikes, big, small, insane. I generally try to go for something that's like medium length. It's a good exercise, and the trail is somewhat well maintained. There's some sort of good view either at the end or along the way. So that is the criterion that I'm sort of judging all of these based off of. Okay, so with that in mind, first off, I've got this spot in the Tuna Canyon that I found. I don't think there's actually a name for this trail, so I'll link the GPS coordinates on screen here, but fantastic view. It was probably about like 4 miles. I went at sunset. The beginning of the trail, kind of sketchy, there were some tires in a canyon and graffiti everywhere, but you actually get into this thing, and it's like decently well maintained, kind of out of the way. There wasn't anybody when I was there, and the views were fantastic. I mean, this was in July, and there was still a fair amount of greenery around, and just a great view overall. Okay, next up, I've got Mount Lukens and La Crescenta. This, of all the trails that I'm going to talk about, was probably my least favorite. For the following reasons. First of all, it was pretty long. It was like 12 miles total. It was also very hot. Most of that was unexposed. The trail was not really that well maintained, which, I mean, tracks because it's 12 miles. The view at the top was good. I mean, you could see a far distance, but the plateau was so wide that, it was hard to get like a very picturesque view. When I've been up to the Verdugo line, the view is much more just sort of like panoramic, I guess, where here, you kind of had to move around. There wasn't a money shot per se. Overall, though, it was a good hike. I'm glad I did it. I mean, I live in the San Fernando Valley, so now when I'm driving around, I see Mount Lukens. I'm like, yeah, I did that. But overall, it was a lot of work and a lot of suffering to get that achievement. So not sure if I would recommend. Okay, this next one is called Oat Mountain. This is kind of near Granada Hills or Chatsworth type area. Fantastic hike. I did this in March, so it was super green. I mean, the view was beautiful. You could see out to the ocean. Not really that hard. Probably like 90% of it was paved, which in some ways, right, is kind of like, well, it's supposed to be a hike. Now I'm just walking on a service road. But it was still a decent uphill, and I got a fair amount of exercise in. Gorgeous spot. Part of it, I will warn, I think it might have been through private property. I mean, you can see these cows around. I was not entirely sure what was going on there. But the view from the top was fantastic. There's some radio towers, and it's another where if you live in the valley, you probably see it more than you would think. And yeah, just overall a fantastic view. Okay, next up I've got Strawberry Peak in the Angeles National Forest. This trail, also not for the faint of heart. It was about 6 miles, I want to say, but it was hard. There was a lot of uphill. View was fantastic. I mean, once again, you could see all the way past Mount Lukens, past Oat Mountain, all the way out to the ocean. It was very exposed. There were some portions where the sun was kind of blocked out by the side of the mountain, but most of it we were in heavy sun the entire time. But overall, just a fantastic experience hiking this thing. It caps out at about 6,165 feet, so you get a bit of elevation gain. It's really accessible if you live in Los Angeles and you're looking for a decent, challenging hike. Once again, fantastic view, and I would definitely recommend. Okay, for my last recommendation, and honestly, this might be my biggest recommendation if you're just looking for a recreational, lazy Saturday afternoon, I want to get out and hike type of thing. Elsmere Canyon Park is this trail that I don't think has a name. I will kind of graph it out on screen here, but fantastic hike. A lot of it was in the shade in this really nice ravine, and then it takes you up the side of this hill over a crest where you actually overlook the 5 freeway. as it cuts down into Los Angeles. So you get a nice view, you get, you know, a decent amount of walking. The shade is pretty nice, it's there. Beautiful scenery. I mean, this one, in my opinion, kind of checks all those boxes that I was talking about earlier. Would highly recommend. Like I said, I'll show it here once again so you kind of get the general start and direction of it. But yeah, would definitely recommend. All right, guys, that's all the time we've got for today. Please like and subscribe as we try to create content that pushes back against the AI slop that has totally been dominating this niche. Thank you guys for your time, and please drop a comment if you found any of this helpful.